Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to session 6 of module 1 of unit 7. Today, what we have on tap is a division checkpoint. So we're going to go over those. We also have a problem string to get through. And then you'll have an opportunity to do your student book page 264 and home connections pages 137 and 138 when we're all done. All right, shouldn't be a lot to do today. Just enough stuff to kind of refresh our memory on a little bit of division and move on. Okay, so let's start with looking at our page 263 of our student book. That was your homework from yesterday. Please pause the video and check your answers. Remember that work will vary, will be that there is no set in stone way that you need to figure this out, just as long as we figured out the right answer. And if you figured it out a certain way and you came up with the right answer, congratulations. If you need a little bit of help on this, go ahead and reach out to your teachers and they'll be more than happy to fix things with you. Go ahead and press play when you are done correcting. All right, so we're going to start out with the division checkpoint today. It's just 3 questions. We want you to kind of look at, we just want to kind of look at and see where we are at with the division. You can use any way that is a lot easier to you. You can use the array model. You can use a ratio table. You can figure it out with an equation if you know the standard algorithm. Please go ahead and answer the questions the way that it's supposed to be. We will have this posted in Seesaw. So if you could post your work on Seesaw and submit that to us, we'd be more than happy to grade that and get it back to you. There is also an opportunity for you to print that off, or however your teacher plans to get to you, and how they expect you to return it when you are complete. All right, so when you're done with that, come back to the video and we are going to be doing another problem string. So get out your math notebook. Again, just like yesterday, we were using ratio tables to solve how fast people were running or walking, right? For me, with the walking thing. For you, maybe the running thing. Today, we're going to be doing minutes per mile. So we're going to be figuring out how many minutes it takes per mile, looking at it through a ratio table, right? So again, we're going to read through each one of these problems and walk our way through it, right? I'm going to lower that line just a little bit so that it's kind of matched up. Our first problem says that if a student ran 4 miles in 36 minutes, how fast was she running? And what was her pace per mile? So how many minutes per mile? Again, remember when we figured this out, we did 4 as our top number, right? And for our bottom number, we were using 36, which was the amount of minutes it took, right? Now, we wanted to figure out how long it would take for 1 mile, right? So I would put my 1 on top because my miles need to match up. And for me to continue or to be operating in the same ratio as 4 to 36, I have to look at what I'm doing to the 4 to get 1. And it looks like I'm dividing by 4. So what is 36 divided by 4? 9, right? So it takes 9 minutes for each mile, okay? So go ahead and stop the video and work your way through each one of these next 4 and then start it up and we'll check your answers. All right, so hopefully you've completed these last 3 problems on this page. We have 3 more on our next page. So for this next one, a student ran 2 miles in 22 minutes. You might be able to figure this one out mentally because you are so smart, but we are going to do it anyway. What are we doing to the 2 to get my 1 mile? Right? I'm dividing by 2. So I have to divide 22 by 2. And what did you get? 11 minutes. So these are more like 11-minute miles. Now we're getting into Mr. Keller's pace. This is about as fast as I can do this. All right, now if a student walked 1/4 of a mile in 6 minutes, how fast was she walking? Okay, so now we're back to the fractions. Remember the fractions? What did we do to 1/4 to get 1 mile? Did you multiply? Yes, you would have had to have multiplied by 4 because that's smaller than a whole. So we need to combine more together to get a whole, and we need 4 of them, right? So they do it in 6 minutes. So we would end up completing 1 mile in 6 times 4, or 24 minutes. Good. All right, now on the bottom, what last problem? We did 1/2 of a mile in, well, we also have to compare that to 1 mile, right? And we did that in 12 minutes. So what are we doing to the half to get 1? Well, we have to increase the half, right? And we have to double it to get 1 mile. So we're going to double it to get 1. So we have to double our 12 minutes to 24 minutes. Okay, so hopefully you got those answers. If you didn't, go ahead and make the necessary changes, and let's move on to the next page. On the next page, it says if a student walked 2/4 of a mile in 6 minutes, how fast was she walking? And what was her mile per pace? 2/4 of a mile. But I also know that 2/4, oh, she did that in 6 minutes, right? But I do know that 2/4 is equal to 1/2. It's kind of a trick question, right? So we're doing 1/2 in 6 minutes. So that would be the same, right? And we need to figure out how many or how fast she walks in or walked in a mile. So what are we doing to the 2 or the 1/2 or the 2/4 to get 1? Well, we're doubling it regardless of what we've done here. If we've reduced our fraction, we're still doubling it. If it's 2/4, we're still doubling it to get to a mile. So we're still going to double each one of these to 12 minutes, right? Ooh, walking in a 12-minute mile. Ooh, I'm running and I don't think I can get that. All right, so now we have 1/5 of a mile. And we have to compare that in miles, right? And we are making that 1/5 of a mile in 8 minutes. So what are we doing, or how many fifths do we need to equal 1 mile, right? Very easy to do by, well, looking at the denominator, especially if we're dealing with 1, right? So we need 5 of these fifths to equal 1 mile. So we need to multiply our 8 by 5 and get 40 minutes. Oh, I like this pace. I think I'm going to hang out with this student. All right, and then we're going to finish up with our last one. 1/3 of a mile, right? And that is equal to 1 mile. And we do that 1/3 in 9 minutes. So how long does it take for 1 mile? Well, look at what it's asking, right? If we can do a third in 9 minutes, then how many thirds are in a whole mile? Well, I need to multiply that one. There are 3, right? So then I'll need to multiply my minutes by 3 and get to 27 minutes. All right. Well, that about does it for our problem string today. Understanding and use of ratio tables to help us with division is really nice. Why don't you take a look at? Excuse me for that. Take a look back at your problems. Make sure that everything is done well. When we're done today, if you don't have any questions, and I know you did well on your assessment, your checkpoint today, Finish Student Book, page 264. Do your home connections, pages 137 and 138. Have a great day and enjoy math.